and welcome to Kasambabezi FM. This program is brought to you by the Community Alliance for Human Settlement. Settlements in Zimbabwe in partnership with National Endowment for Democracy. We got a lot to talk about today. So interesting on community land protection guide. So now we have our community leaders from the Community Alliance for Human Settlements in Zimbabwe, the legal aspects and activists in justice delivery sector. Vachenge tichikurukura navo pamusoro penhau iyi tichimbonzwanana navo tichikurukura pamusoro penhingirikini penyaya. So our topic today is unpack the community land protection guide and how this will be used in communities to influence dialogue and advocacy initiatives on protection of our land and their inhabitants. So to begin with, tisatambenda kureka tichange tichimbotana Tatenda Madziro from the Community Land Protection Guide. We are by brief background into this whole discussion. Ashimbotudzao the mashuro kuti zvakambofamba sei. So ndo tichatangana ashimbotudzao a brief background about community land protection. So ndo tichambofamba naye ndiye achange achimbotitaurira about it. Sachimbodzwa kuti anomboti pamusoro penyaya iyi ambotitsanangurirawo ambotipo a brief background. Hello Tatenda. Hello,
how are you?
I'm fine, how are you? Anotomboziva kuti vari kumbotaura nani?
Hello,
I'm hearing you loud and clear. Hello?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so vadiwa vateereri vari kumbonzisa kuti vari kutaura nani. Umbotipo uchipotipo a brief background about community land protection guide.
Okay, makadizvi zita rangu ndinoitwa Tatenda Madziro. Ndinobata ndiri kuCommunity Alliance for Human Settlements in Zimbabwe, which is a local civil society organization inoshanda maringe nenyaya migration, secure settlements, and access to productive resources like land, which we want to talk about. Takatarisana maringe neyatinotiyo Community Land Protection Guide. Rinova iro bhuku or what you can call a handbook muchirungu. Rakadevelopwa neCommunity Alliance amongst its consultants to do away with issues that have to do with land kuma communities kwatinogara.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. China Patroti, please tell us about your reactions on the development of the Community Land Protection Guide.
Sorry, can you come again?
Can you go to your reactions on the development of the Community Land Protection Guide?
So my quick reactions on the development of the Community Land Protection Guide is we want to raise awareness across all the 10 provinces of Zimbabwe.
Yes.
But let's know our land rights and let's protect the land that we have. But we can't protect what we don't know what we hold. So with the coming of the Land Protection Guide, uvandudzwa ruzivo ruripa vanhu veZimbabwe maringe land yavainayo, and to also protect them kune zvinhu zvingavawane paland yavanogara nenyaya dzema-evictions nenyaya dzema-displacement. How best can we assist vanhu ava? So the Land Protection Guide comes in to provide a simplified referral pathway on how our community members can be able to protect themselves in their respective communities.
All right. Oh, thank you so much, Tatenda. I think one question is going Tatenda akatipo zvinhu zvatidzidzisa kuti tizive izvo zvita tanyatsokuziva tanyatsokunzwisisa zvinhu zvatinenge tichitaura nezvazvo. Oh, moving on, let's hear from the legal aspect side. Timbonzwisa panyaya dzenzvimbo dzatinomairana enzvimbo dzatinogara. How are you, sir? Hello, how are you? Chivo tisati taita kure chivo icho vanhu vamboziva kuti vari kutaura nani.
Thank you very much. Ndinonzi Khumbulani Maposa. Noshanda ku Matabeleland Institute for Human Rights.
Okay. Thank you. So, Mr. Kumbulan, what are the fundamental rights individuals and communities have regarding land ownership?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the first thing that we need to understand is that land is to black people is different the way we look at it from white people. White people see land as a place of production where they keep their cattle or where they mine or where they do business. But to us, land is identity. Beyond the production, land is a place where we produce our culture, our heritage, our identity. It is the land identifies who we are as black people. So when we are talking of the rights of people to the land, yes, there is right to housing, there is right to agriculture, but there is also a right to culture and heritage, which is very, very important to black people.
Okay, thank you. I think muda kuti uri kungozvinzwirawo usasarire pachirongwa ichi handiti udzwisise kodzero dzako patichitaura nyaya dzeland nzvimbo yatinogara handiti moving on. Mr. Kumulat, how can community members identify if their land rights are being threatened or violated?
Yeah, I think it is important that we look at some important things. Number one, sometimes there is a need that people should be moved from their land, especially for development projects. Right? That on its own is an important development issue happening in a country or in an area.
Yes.
But when that happens, there are things that should happen by law. One, the people should be consulted. So when people are not consulted when they are moved, then their land rights are violated. Okay. Number two, people should be, when they are consulted, they should also be given a voice to say where they are going to be placed. Okay. And if we look at international best practice, when you move people from their land, you should take them to a land which is better than the land they were staying in. Okay. You should also guarantee them fundamental rights like housing, education, transport, health, water. Those should be guaranteed. If they are not guaranteed in the new area, then you are violating people's rights. Okay. And also you should also seek what we call free, prior, and informed consent of people. Right, to ask people whether they are happy with the new area which they are taking them to. If you don't do that, you are also violating their rights.
Okay, I think every day we learn new things. So sometimes we are being violated, but the ticket shigara. What steps can individuals take to protect themselves from arbitrary evictions?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that when people realize that my rights are violated, they should come together, right, as people. Whether you are, especially if you are a community, people need to work together. There is power in numbers.
Yes.
And number two, there are organizations like Community Alliance for Human Security. Right? These are the organizations that can assist people, because sometimes our people don't know what they should do. They should contact these organizations and say, there is this that we hear here. How can we do it? But our people sometimes, are not consulting a politician. We have an interest in these things. But they should consult these independent organizations who can guide them. Like, this booklet that we are talking about now, it gives people, it tells people what they should do when this has happened. It gives that guidance. So people are not starting from zero, but they are starting from somewhere.
Okay, yeah. Okay. All right, thank you so much. Even number maybe to number it's a good ndekupuwa tinganobata nevanhu vacho vangagona kuti tiende kunoripota tasangana nemaissues akadaro mungadziwanewo. Hello.
Hello, is that for Tatenda, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving on. Trambo chifurira mberi nechirongwa chedu tirakumbonzwisisa kune governance practitioner chimbonzisoka kudivirenyu kuti effect satenda kure chimbozviintroduce vadiwa teredwa mbozoti tinanikwa mustudio medu.
Makadi henyu ini ndinoitwa John Tafatswa Chirinda. Ndinobata ndiri munzvimbo yeKariba.
Aiwa tinokuchingamidzai
mazvita
kuchirongwa chedu ichi. Mr. Chirinda, what specific roles do justice sector institutions play in safeguarding land rights?
Thank you so much nekubvunza mubvunzo wakanaka. Uye when you speak of my specific roles, when we talk of specific roles, we need to take probably each one at a time.
Yes.
The issue of land itself as it comes has brought in about a justice sector system where institutions have come on board, and thanks to Community Alliance for Human Settlement in Zimbabwe. One of the roles which is specific is for advocacy work, where we are talking about safe human migration, secure settlements, access to productive resources in terms of the land itself. So there is that role that the justice sector institutions need to play. They need to come in, they need to make sure that the communities, the people themselves are educated to be able to understand what it means to have land, what it means to have productive land, what it means not to be moved unnecessarily. You also realize there is also the role that they play is in terms of influencing the national laws and the national policies of the country regards land issues. Because they are fundis. These are people who have understood the constitution. These are people who have also read widely. These are people who can provide legal advice. So in terms of the engagement of influencing national laws, then the justice sector institutions becomes quite critical. They become a key role. We have heard the other colleagues speaking about people who have been moved from in terms of relocation. These are the organizations that work in terms of promoting relocation, which is orderly.
Okay.
We have witnessed people being moved from one place to the other without the people actually coming together and getting that dignity that should be remaining with people when they are removed from their land. So all we are saying is the institutions that we have those roles that are very clear. Let me probably sound them to say they have a role to play in terms of gender justice. They have the role in terms of engagement of the private sector in terms of the land issues. They have the role in terms of educating the people in terms of their rights and livelihoods. Above that, we have spoken about gender justice issues.
Yes.
These are the institutions that comes to talk about gender justice and educate our nation, educate the people, be available for those people who are being moved.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on, I'm seeing how can citizens engage with JSIs to address their concerns regarding land issues?
We want to appreciate that this discussion that we are having has already come on board, courtesy of the Community Alliance that has given us the Community Alliance for Human Settlement in Zimbabwe. They are reachable.
Yes.
My colleague who have just spoken have said, allow the communities to come together. When they have come together, now they have the same concerns, they have the same issues, then they can reach out now for assistance, for technical advice, for legal representation, for for guidance in terms of what they can do. So this engagement that we have already started has created space for the communities, for the citizens to be able to interact, be it in written form, be it in calling, be it in texting. And the spaces are already being created by the justice sector institutions. For example, the Community Alliance for Human Settlement in Zimbabwe, who obviously will be sharing much in terms of where you get them, how you get them.
Okay. So can you share examples of how JSIs have successfully intervened in cases of unlawful evictions?
Interestingly, our country, Zimbabwe, has managed to go through a cycle where people have been moved from one place to the other. You might have read quite a number of stories in our newspapers, in our press. Remember people who are living in certain areas like those in Mazowe. There is a case that has been going on for some time now. Probably I could be talking of around 2014. We are talking of 10 years now, where over 200 families were forcibly removed from their customary land. When we speak of customary land, we are talking of the land where they say this is where we were born. This is where our forefathers were. And this is land in Mazowe. And that land now was now being created for the then First Lady, Amai Grace Mugabe, to do the business. So you'd find now these people needed representation. And they were represented. Sad to say, the story has been going on for some time. It's in the courts, and I'm talking of Mazowe Farm. I'm talking of Mazowe, which is Mashonari and Central. I could also pick up the other issue. You remember the Marange area where there was a lot in terms of diamond extraction, in terms of debates that were happening, and the people there were also forcibly removed. And then we were talking of the Batoka township, where people also were displaced from their... another example that I could also give is in 2022, recently, it's not a long time ago, you read about the Mutoko villages, where they were being displaced for the purposes of the Chinese company, which is Zimbabwe Mining, and we can talk quite a number of about these. Mutoko district is also in Mashonaland East Province. And I'm saying there have been representations that have been coming through, but these are part of the examples that we can say people have been brought together to also then move as a group. The whole idea is for the people to come together, agree that there is something that is not correct. There is something that needs to be corrected. And when they come together, they can then be able to be assisted by our legal experts whom we are discussing with, by the community land protection guide. Critically, to also mention, like what my colleagues have mentioned, the coming on board of the community land protection guide will also be able to assist the community quite a lot. Otherwise, I appreciate the kind of discussion that we are having.
All right, thank you so much for sharing that, guys. We're live at Kasambabezi FM 99.3, the voice of empowerment and development. Proudly brought to you by the Community Alliance for Human Settlements in Zimbabwe. Saka mudiwa mutereri ziva nzvimbo yako ka unzwisise kuzive kuti aiwazve ndine kodzero dzangu inini pandikere ndozvamuri kunzwa kana semunzwa simbi yadzo huru yadzo vachitsanangura kuti zvinombofambiswa sei. Tiri pano paKasambabezi FM.
Kasambabezi FM. Kasambabezi FM. This is Momoyo Mangu